Could be an awkward composition, but we'll see what Ruler wants to lock in here.
Just don't feel like there's a pick that fixes this draft here for me, for Gen G. Like
they already have an
so
80 carry.
holes.
That's where my head is, right? And so you just can play around Keen in late game team fights, I guess. Let him do that consistent damage. We've seen Vaynes really go crazy in the later team fights, especially when piloted by Keen, as there is a Rakan lock-in for Duro. Okay, will that mean that Gumayusi is going to deny the Lovers duo? He could theoretically do that. Rakan Galio has been a pretty devastating combo in the past, but we haven't seen it so much recently.
I mean, he's not going to be able to play Xayah Rakan, which he was probably considering here. He could just play a scaling pick, like Aphelios or Jinx. Lock the Nautilus in response. They want to see what that 80 carry is first, but they can't. I got trolled again by Red first selection. I don't know why that happened to me twice today. I'm just so caught up
Nautilus,
on hype.
Xayah could be the choice here. They could just do that.
I just feel like if you go for a scaling pick here, it solves the one thing that's missing in your comp, which is just sustained damage. And the Xayah will fit the bill there. So it almost felt like they chose the Rakan because they expected this, but the Xayah still comes through, and the Xayah is the larger issue.
Do we get Space Bane? Because so many times when Xayah is picked, someone will pick Kai'Sa. That is just how it goes since 2017.
I mean, it's a pretty good angle for the Kai'Sa. I kind of forgot about it because it's been so fringe this year and very rarely picked up, but works out. Instead, they're looking for a potential Sivir scaling angle here. I'm just not 100% sold on this draft here for Gen G. There's a movement speed from the ult. It'll be very valuable for everyone. It's actually incredibly strong.
As recently as like a day ago. Let's get onto the Rift, see how it goes for Game 3. All right, HANWHA fans, very, very loud here today. Zeka is going to take a little bit of damage from the Winds of War, but avoids the Sonic Wave. Therefore, the Orianna is going to be just fine. This will be a difficult lane for the Galio. Top lane will be a difficult lane for the Renekton.
And bottom lane will be a difficult lane for Delight and Guma if the dredge lines do not hit. Otherwise, they actually have a lot of power in this lane. They have the ward advantage here in the middle brush.
Yep, sustain advantage as well for the Rakan. The Gleaming Quills are going to be helping out there. This is actually really interesting because we haven't had to adjudicate like lanes like this for quite some time.
Yeah, what's up with these engage supports? Yeah, what's going on?
Would like going to find a minion there.
Yeah, see, you miss the hooks. Sometimes you lose your health.
They also lose their ward, unfortunately, as the Ricochet is doing some work as Gen G take control of this lane. We did expect that the Sivir Rakan should be a little bit more powerful at this stage, but Gumayusi is going to be extremely safe as this game goes on with that Featherstorm, and I think he's going to need to be with Canyon searching for him, and Chovy ready to land on top. Obviously, this is not one of Chovy's most flashy picks, but definitely one of his most played.
The CC for... I mean, he did have that amazing taunt, iconically, when taunt was basically changed because of him. And when I look at this Xayah pick for Guma, I think more about Gumayushi's ability to play Xayah and position well and have great feather callbacks and how good he is at the champion, rather than I think about like, okay, is Xayah press R equals safe? Because like sometimes that's how you look at Xayah in drafts. But for me, for Guma, I'm like, oh, there's so much more to it than that in this game. Especially
it's more about securing Baron, let's be honest.
There you go. But there's so many CCs here that kind of persist and are difficult to deal with. Like, at least in Sonic Wave is very difficult to Xayah R because you just kind of wait and then you press it, right? Or a kick, very difficult to outplay. Taunts on the ground, the persisting hitbox of the Rakan ultimate, for example. But look at Guma. He's like really the only person playing Xayah. Perfect win rate, 3-0. Now, HANWHA have done a lot of winning, but they trusted him on it when no one else is playing this pick, and he's like, yeah, that's me. Trust me. I do it every time.
And it's looked pretty good thus far. It does also often give Delight the ability to play one of these engage supports, and he is going to be able to find the anchor here as Duro once again just gets a Gleaming Quill, and that is going to nullify that exchange. Still, Guma able to get that W damage off quite nicely here as he does pull back the feathers, but with the wave clear of the Sivir and the fact that Gen G just get access to the wave, there's no enchanter to push them out or anything like that, can certainly be a little bit dangerous here for HLE, and I don't think they'll ever really get lane control as Kanavi's coming down.
Well, this could be scary.
I've seen this before. as I think they've got an idea as to what's coming, as there's the grand entrance. Duro actually playing great keep away, does absorb the anchor, and then just battle dances over to Ruler. And with Canyon moving up, Gen.G have weathered the storm. They still hold on to a slight gold lead as well as, oh, that Q. I think it finished off a minion instead of doing anything else. So they do clear out this wave, and HLE's little ruse is not going to come true.
Yeah, they do get away. Really good play from Duro there to absorb the hits and then rejoin Ruler, utilizing his quick kit very well there. Now, we reset. Things are slightly in favor of Gen.G right now because a large part of this is because of Keen's insane lead with the early game Vayne, where you are ranged and incredibly dominant. Went for the exhaust.
Yep.
And that is what you do, so the Renekton can't all-in you. And sometimes you could just use it to kill the Renekton, depending on how much damage you get done. But Keen hasn't been able to get Zeus into a really threatening position because Zeus is respecting and dropping a lot of farm, as you can see here, just trying to get what he can. He's like, I'll get a few of those and be happy to just otherwise not interact with you.
Yep, and is actually staying very, very competitive on experience. In the meantime, Duro making his way over. The anchor is going to get dodged. Nice grand exit there from Duro. Oh no, it's the grand entrance, heroic entrance combo game.
Yeah,
isn't
it is the fun one.
It's great for play-by-play.
I really
love having the same name.
I had this inkling, Atlas, like, I don't know what, came over me, but I was like, I have a feeling.
Designed a Splatoon character?
Yeah, well, I have tried to do that in my spare time once or twice. Not really. I just wanted to run with your reference there.
Okay.
But I was like, this is Guma's most played champion, Xayah. Like, it feels like it has to be, right? It is. Just by one over Vara. 68 games. This will be a 69th game of Xayah. He has a 76.5%.
I'm really glad we got through the last game he played Xayah unscathed.
Yeah.
Very happy about that one. It's all right. The taunt going to come through onto Zeka here as Chovy actually laning very nicely now that he's got a few buttons and has an old magic mantle to try and deal with this. Because we know, like, this is the prime pick that HLE got by choosing first pick, right? It's the Orianna, and it's been very dangerous.
But so far, Chovy doing great in this laning phase. This bottom lane was very dangerous at times for Ruler and Duro, but they get out of it. Zeus is the one who's really having the hard time here, but now he's going to have some help, potentially.
Yeah, Kanavi doesn't quite have level 6 just yet, but we'll see whether Kane takes the bait. As there is a Lee Sin backing very close by, actually cancels it. And this is what we were saying. Put a bell on Kanavi. It looks like the bell's working. Yeah, as Canyon is shadowing him right now.
Kane also just very aware that there's no reason to do anything else. His whole job is to make it so Zeus can't kill the minions. He doesn't have to kill Zeus. He just can't let Zeus have the minions. He kills Zeus if Zeus tries to get the minions.
And Kanavi can't have level 6.
Yeah, he can't.
Canyon hits it himself and pulls the red buff into the brush as now King comes over, finds the condemn stun. There's the silver bolts as well. And the exhaust is down. Zeka gonna have to flash to get over this wall, and now King could be in a little bit of trouble. Chovy though moving in. There's the heroic entrance, gets the knock up onto Kanavi. The kickback from Canyon as the shockwave comes in. Is it gonna be enough? And it is. Zeus locks down the Lee Sin. And now King trying to deal with this crocodile, and it ain't gonna work. A double kill, but he will go down. And Chovy getting chased down. The clockwork windup is working, and the flash needs to be used. 2 for 2 as both teams are on the board.
Yeah, really even exchange here between these as we have a fight down here on the bottom side as well, going the way of Gen.G, but Guma gets his ult.
Yeah, let's see whether the Featherstorm is going to work out here. The flash forward from Gumayusi and goes backwards, but then lands on the grand entrance. Duro with the sick outplay, and Ruler going to get the passive. That's the double, and Gen.G really turn it on its head and claim the lead.
The second Guma got his ultimate, you could see the angle where he's able to reverse his ult to go back on top, but he just gets outplayed, and then here, this initially looks like, oh, this is such a free win here for Gen.G because Chovy can join with his ultimate, and Canyon is so much mobility, right? And so they play through Keen here. Kanavi is not able to actually burst him down, and there's a lot of damage here coming through, but then the Renekton is like, but I'm a Renekton, and I get a lot of heals, and I also do a lot of damage. You guys are standing in melee range of me. Zeus does eventually get taken out here, and the return play from Chovy, really nicely played by him, and Chovy will flash away. Down here, it's all about Guma's level 6, so you can see he's able to hit it off of this wave. And then once he does, he's like, I have an angle, as we do have a bit of a fight in live, but I don't know if it's going to eventuate. So once the second wave comes over, he hits level 6. We start the replay a bit early. And then as he's hitting it, Delight's like, I have this angle to hook.
I can't wait to watch Duro finding
Duro. So keep your eyes on Duro
grand entrance.
when Guma gets level 6 here and goes for this. So hook comes through. Guma's like, I'm going to get behind him. Flash. And then Duro just predicts exactly where he's going to land and just says, nope. And then Ruler just does the extra damage there. It was just a beautiful play from Duro. The way I watched all of the beginning of that replay, it kept trolling me. I was like, he's going to hit 6 on this wave. Oh, it's the next wave. It's the next wave. But ultimately, that was the main moment there where Duro just says, I know where you come down.
Yeah, and I know when you come down as well. So Gumayusi does fall in this bottom lane, and now it's a 600 gold lead for Ruler. 2.2k actually for Gen G just in general, as Ruler's able to sidestep the anchor. Still, HLE, I think they've got a lot of tools as we move towards the mid-game. I don't think they need to be, you know, worrying about what they're going to say in the losers interview after the game just yet. But it is a great start here for Gen G. And it kind of needed to be, right, with this Vayne composition.
Absolutely.
Canyon's moving in, though, and there is no flash on Guma. Does have his ult back up now.
He has Ghost as well.
Yeah, spotted on this ward, but the double tap of the Boomerang Blade will just force him out of the lane. Dragon hasn't really been a thing that we've looked at so far. 3 Grubs did go over to HLE earlier on. That's what we saw in the picture-in-picture.
Canyon with a pretty big farm lead over Kanavi has a large experience lead, which is what's being showcased there in that
item
graphic.
lead.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good first item for the Lee Sin.
And this has been more popular recently. Going for this first instead of Thunder Sky, very powerful. A lot of explosive damage early in a comp like this where you want to try to snowball things. You have the scaling Sivir, right? But you do want to get to the mid game where you can actually fight into Renekton, Pantheon, Orianna as fast as possible and set up those lanes for success, which he has done very successfully here, although Keen kind of did a lot of his early leading on his own. Now he no longer has a lead because of that scrap where Zeus picked up 2 kills. He's still a Vayne.
Even.
Yeah, it's actually the rare 0
yeah.
there in the
It was
column.
0 for so long as well. Often we see it tick over to like 1 or 2 like very, very quickly, but stayed 0 for quite some time. Now it's going to be Zeus clearing out the wave. Keen going to have to catch it. And there is a Rakan up here spotting out what's going on.
Yeah, and Chovy
in the area.
He has ult, so they need to be careful because he can join if they do try to go for that dive. He's not in position right now, though.
Justice Punch actually on top of Zeka here as Chovy gets to clean up the minion wave and do some harass damage. As HLE just moved 4 people into the top lane and look to try and get Gumayusi back into a good position. Flash down once again for Zeka as Ruler just having the best time ever here in this bottom lane as Grand Entrance is going to connect onto only Zeus. Duro able to get himself out of there with the Battle Dance as well as somehow that Sonic Wave missed onto Kanavi.
Ruler's gold lead is exploding while he gets free time with that turret in the bottom side, by the way. He is getting huge.
Not to mention the experience lead as well. Every wave is going just to him.
Yeah, he is starting to become a big, big problem. He's a full level up on Guma right now. And HLE just trying to pull the trigger.
Yeah, there's the flash quickness to come in. He charms up 3 people. Heroic Entrance comes down, but it's interrupted. Gumayusi now in so much trouble though as Keen takes him out. And now he gets to go ballistic. Double kill for the Vayne. Finds the other one as it's a triple for Keen. Zeka gets taken out as Canyon snipes him and Zeus has lost all of his friends and he just gets punched by a gargoyle. And look at Ruler just emoting by himself in the bottom lane.
Might have just been that ace emote coming through Atlas as they get the
4v5.
And like, look at the mini map right now. Ruler's pushing. My biggest issue is by the amazing charm here by Duro. My God, it's like everything goes incredibly well here for Gen G. Keen's doing massive damage. Then this taunt in the choke tri-brush is a triple.
Lord.
There's just like this could not have gone better for Gen G. But my issue with HANWHA sending 4 topside there was. It meant that Zeka couldn't join initially because there was a Lee Sin there in the mid lane, and Chovy had prio from that trade. Ruler's pushing bottom lane, so you're on a clock, and Chovy's always going to be able to ult to get to that top side fight. Didn't necessarily end up happening the way I thought it would, but they felt priced in because they were like, we're losing our bottom turret, we have to do something, but Gen G just outplayed them. So guess what? They lose their bottom turret, which is first brick, and get outplayed, and it's a 5,000 gold lead at 13 minutes, and this Sivir is 1.2k of that gold lead here at 13. Like, this game may just be done.
Oh, goodness me. Well, Gumayusi is going to get pushed back and doesn't have his Featherstorm, does have Flash. But he cannot lane against Keen. Keen is kind of a big deal right now on 3, 1, and 4 on the Vayne.
If he had some, I don't think Guma could even try to lane into him, but he's going to have some help here, some friends now.
Yeah, thankfully Delight does make his way up.
And Sivir, by the way, just looking for another turret. While all this is happening, so many resources given over to get Guma into a stable place in this game. Another plate goes over to the Sivir.
As Canyon spotted on a ward, but Gumayusi's still taking damage here. But this way, this turret is starting to look worse for wear. HLE really did want to take that one down. As Guma does at least finish his quest. You can see Delight very, very close to finishing his as well. As Gen G, well and truly in the driver's seat. 5,000 gold, as you mentioned before.
I mean, Chovy's like, well, I'm not going bottom lane right now. I don't really have any reason to. There's no turret. I'm not going to push any further into the enemy territory where there's a Pantheon on the map. I'm instead just going to kind of see what I can do here, see if I can find anything to impact shadow both my mid and top lanes, where 280 carries are farming. And Keena's just getting so much money here for free. This turret is totally safe. And finally, Zeus gets to the bottom lane, but like it doesn't matter anymore. Now Chovy's swapped over to the top side. And Keen's going to be able to go bottom. He has teleport now because roll quest. So,
all right, well, Canyon looking for an angle here. Let's see whether he finds it. There's the kick flash, and Zeka going to get taken down. Shockwave comes in and doesn't really do anything at all. There is the Canyon Lee Sin that we know and love.
Chovy doesn't have TP, but he will fairly soon here. They need to make something happen on this bottom side play, and they need to make it happen fast, or they're just going to get punished again. And this turret is so healthy. I mean, it's a bounty on this turret, but it's going to take so long, and Chovy's getting all of that top turret right now and can TP down for the defense. Like, it's checkmate HANWHA Life Esports. Like, HANWHA Life Esports can't do anything. There is no play here. There's just nothing they can do. They are literally checkmated in this situation on the map.
Well, there's a teleport that's going to come in from Zeka, as Kanavi moving over as well, does have the Skyfall that can be utilized.
And now Chovy is just like, well, now I'm in danger if I push further, so I'll just walk away. And we'll get the dragon on the other side of the map where I can also join with TP.
Not to mention, he's got just the most tanky build for his first item and shoes. So it's just never going to be a great thing, as there's the kick flash after the smite.
Smite slow, kick post flash, everything is clean about the safeguard approach. It's just fairly, he makes it look like it's basic as hell.
Yeah.
He stood there, but
I mean, we've seen the things that Canyon has done. If you've watched the recent LoL Esports video about the best Lee Sin plays of all time, we all knew what play number one was going to be when we loaded up that video. And Canyon, like, they missed even one of the best parts of the play, and it was still absurdly obvious that it was number one.
There's just too many of his greats. You know, we just can't let him have all the glory.
So Orcs and I were watching it, and we had this theory that they left it out on purpose to bait comments. Now, Keen is going to get CC'd. Kanavi is also in a little bit of trouble here as Ruler takes him down. Keen lasted a lot longer than I was expecting, but it's actually Gumayusi that locks down that kill. Chovy turns up here in this bottom lane and then walks away.
Chovy basically just showing up here to make sure that Ruler can keep pushing mid, I guess.
Yeah, no, he's like, I need to take his body. He's allowed to go past, but isn't actually able to affect the play.
Well, you know, you said it to me. I don't know if you said it to me on broadcast or not, but we can talk about if it wasn't. You said,
okay,
even if this third game is a complete wash, this might go down as one of the best series of the year. Yeah. This third game is a complete wash, Atlas.
Yeah, so we're going to have to like maybe debate whether or not this is the best series, but it has been some pretty good gameplay by Gen G in this early game. As another one from Canyon, just going to be safeguarding over to get the perfect angle, and it just feels pretty nice watching Canyon play this champion. Mustn't feel very good for Kanavi, who just had a brilliant game on the Lee Sin himself.
Keen buys so much time here, and that's why Chovy is able to show up here and then prevent them from following. As
oh dear.
I mean, look.
Imagine like thinking like about playing the game without like summoner spells or a Feather Storm.
Yeah.
Gumayusi had absolutely zero options there. As at least Kanavi has a health bar and an Aegis, and that is going to keep him alive.
I think that this game isn't about any particular necessarily failings of any HLE players. It's just the lead here has snowballed so incredibly well. I think the four-man top play was absolutely not it.
Yeah, and I think that is lost in the game, and sometimes you make one mistake against Gen G, and the game is kind of
I mean, there were some small things that, you know, they could have done better. Like, Zeka could have played safer in the mid lane when he got safeguard, flash kicked, like, but who's counting, right? But if you have if you put the zoom in on, like, Guma's flash outplay attempt, And you're like, this is why they lost the game, is because Guma went for that. Or like, this is why they lost the game because Guma was away from his turn. I'm like, no, guys, I mean, this is not the
I think they lost the game because they lost a 4v5 when Genji didn't have their AD carry that was taking a turret by himself in the bottom lane.
I don't think I'll see that comment in the post-game.
And said AD carry is now 4-0-0 on Sivir.
IE at 18 minutes?
Okay, well, I'm feeling a little worried about HLE's chances. Let's see whether Chovy feels worried about his chances here, as Canyon, thanks to the Ocean Rift, is able to keep himself out of sight. Does throw in that Sonic Wave. Is Kanavi
Genji might eventually decide to let this turret go. It might be time. Much as I recently threw out a lot of cables recently myself, like it's sometimes you're like, I really was attached to that turret. So it's where we won the big thing that won the game. It was like a really big moment for me. I don't want to let it, no, just don't be a hoarder, Genji, just let it go.
Yeah, bounties come in, and honestly, they've released better HDMIs, Wolf. Like, you don't need to hoard them. Like, just get the 2.1 or whatever it is.
That old, like, knockoff AV cable I had, I don't need that. No, I don't.
DVI is a thing of the past.
I threw away some DVI to display converter cables.
Oh, no.
But what if I need that? No,
yeah, what if you need to make that VGA monitor work again like you had in primary school?
I'd have to open up, like, Coupon and spend 2,501. I better save that.
Just for some translation, ladies and gentlemen, that is about $2. It's not very much.
Yeah. Also, the cable had a lot of dust on it, It was kind of...
for the British, maybe it's like £1.50. I don't know.
How much yen is that?
No idea.
How about, like, how much in Zimbabwe does that go for?
If there are any Zimbabweans watching, please let us know what the currency conversion
What
might
about,
be.
like, South African dollars?
Also not sure, as it turns out.
What about yuan? It could have been a lot of value somewhere.
That one I can almost translate, but from Korean to won is like, that's hard.
Okay.
I used to be able to do it. It was about 6 times the Australian dollar back in 2010. Yeah.
It turns out that for keeping my room tidy, it was worth a lot to throw them away. And Genji threw that turret away, and they didn't throw the game away with it.
They have not just yet, as HLE. They are looking to try and deny Soul Point. And they have positional advantage here, but there are wards sneakily hidden around this pit. And so Genji do know what's going on. Duro in a weird flank angle, looking for Zeus as the Strybreaker does go wide. Canyon looking to try and get himself in there, and he steals away the dragon! The grand entrance is so good as the quickness charms them all up, and the kick! Oh, Canyon, you absolute gem! As Genji will slam their wallets down and really solidify their win here in Game 3.
And sometimes, when the Lee Sin gets locked, I question it. I go, I don't know what this plan is, Genji. I'm not 100% sure about this draft. But when Canyon's playing it, you just have to wait and see. And we did, and we saw. Lee Sin can't see, but he can smite this dragon. And he is having an amazing game. Definitely making the POM conversation a little bit murkier after Chovy's amazing RA game. I'm still going to vote for Chovy, I'm not going to lie. But insane performance here on this Lee Sin. But they have such a lead. But it's like... They didn't need to steal the dragon and also demolish them in the team fight and also like clown on them as well, but like they did.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this is like the 15-year-old competing in the 7-year-old race and then celebrating a whole lot at the end.
Like,
you don't need to do that.
If he didn't get the dragon, we could have at least been like, HANWHA got the dragon, but was it worth it? And have a conversation. We can't even have that conversation. They didn't even get the dragon. They didn't get anything.
This is looking very, very rough, as Kanavi is still Pantheon, so at least he's not going to get picked here, as Delight doesn't quite find the anchor. But HLE are just circling the drain. I was going to say slowly circling the drain, but it's actually starting to up the pace right now. And I don't want to say this as like, it's not any indication of HLE not being a great team here in the LCK, but what are you supposed to do now?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's a 9,000 gold lead at 22 minutes.
Checkmate, man.
Yeah, they're into a Vayne that's 5-2-6. This Lee Sin is absolutely berserk right now. Chovy hasn't died, and Ruler is on 3 items, and he's Sivir.
You know when you reach checkmate in chess, like that's the end of the game, you don't actually take the king.
Yeah, that's...
But in League of Legends, you actually have to take the king.
Yeah,
so.
you don't really do the conceit.
And for some reason, like, HANWHA won't make the last move. Because Genji are like, please let me take the king.
They technically have time left on the clock.
True.
All right, well... HLE going to do what they can. And obviously, there is always the opportunity for a mistake to be capitalized on. It is never over till it's over. This is a tenacious team. But I just don't know whether there are very many inroads outside of colossal GenG failure. But they've just been playing so well. I think Duro as well, as far as that conversation for POM, my God, his Rakan has been just insane.
Like that play from Guma was almost like one of the coolest moments you could see in a Xayah lane, right? But he just gets shut down. That topside play was a disaster, and this Vayne got online so early. The Sivir was untouched and uncontested. So many things went wrong for HLE this game. They just didn't even get to play League of Legends.
Well, now on the hunt, going to get popped, and that is just a broken inhibitor turret. Gumayusi taking so much damage as Keen just tumbles away from the anchor. Kanavi trying to deal with this push in the mid lane as well as Chovy and Canyon getting some work done. Canyon hits a Q, doesn't go back in, and they'll take the inhibitor. Zeka looking for a little bit of an orb. That is a really beautiful little animation.
This is we're getting to the Willy Wonka. You know, I pull this one out every now and then where he's yelling, "You lose, you get nothing." Hey, sir, you know, like that's how I'm feeling when I'm watching Zeka try to get something, and then Gene Wilder is telling him that he's not.
I thought you were going to talk about Augustus Gloop eating the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
That moment, like whenever anyone mentions Willy Wonka, that's all I think about. I'm like, wow, what an iconic scene. Just sort of stands there and eats the microphone.
Well, it's quite topical because we are getting close to talking about those golden tickets to MSI, and GenG with this win here definitely still firmly in the conversation of being one of our two teams to go, right? KT is still like hanging on, right, as being one of those, like, bro, still maybe, you know, but ultimately, we have three teams we're really thinking are the true contesters. And GenG are demolishing our #1 team here in the LCK right now in this final game.
And you know what's fantastic? We have already like 3 teams qualify for EWC as well, and they have all been involved in the 2 best of 3s that we've had so far in the LCK.
Yes.
So we will be able to watch even more of these 3 squads, including T1, as now the engage onto Chovy as the double taunt does come in. Delight is going to go down, and there's a kickback onto Guma. He does get the Featherstorm, but Duro obviously CCs the whole team, and that is going to be curtains for HLE. Zeus takes a little while to kill, but now the victory march comes in, and GenG, they secure the ace, and they'll secure revenge here the second time they face off against HLE.
HLE's first place spot being challenged here by GenG in a big way in what was a phenomenal series, but unfortunately for HLE, a very weak final game where GenG just stomp all over them.